Madison Square Garden. This is the moment of truth, and there's no turning back. Now entering the arena, please welcome the challenger, George Ferocious Kambosos Jr.
I've got a good game plan. I'll break him down.
And now entering the arena, please welcome the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the World from Brooklyn, New York, Richardson Hitchins. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the theater at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, New York, New York, USA. We are live on DAZN for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. It's all being brought to you courtesy Sir Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Lou DiBella's DiBella Entertainment and Ferocious Promotions. We're sponsored by Bet Online, Drip, El Mexicano, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Riyadh Season, Renaissance, Victory Live, and Everlast. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the New York State Athletic Commission. The executive director is Matt Delaglio, and the International Boxing Federation. The president and supervisor, Mr. Daryl J. Peoples. Introducing your three judges scoring this world title contest from ringside: Max DeLuca, Glenn Feldman, and Benoit Roussel. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, referee Michael Griffin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set and we are here. This is it. The time has come. I said the time has come. From the four corners of the world to the four corners of this ring right here at Madison Square Garden, the fight starts now! Introducing first the challenger. He fights out of the red corner. He wears blue with gold trim. He's scaled 139 1/2 pounds. Professional record, 22 victories, 3 defeats, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. Here is the former IBF, WBO, WBA, WBC franchise, and Ring Magazine lightweight champion of the world, George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. Kambosos Jr. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears silver with black lettering. He's scaled at the junior welterweight limit of 140 pounds. Bang on. Professional record, perfect. 19 fights, 19 victories, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of the beautiful borough of Brooklyn, New York, USA. Here is the 2016 Olympian and the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, Richardson Hitchins.
You got a cue?
Oh,
You men receive my instructions in your dressing room. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now, men. We're boxing at the bell. God bless you both.
Well, 4 years ago, George Kambosos supercharged his career inside Madison Square Garden, shocking Teofimo Lopez. To revive it, he will have to do it again. The task in front of him here may be taller. Richardson Hitchins has likened himself to a math problem, one that is impossible to solve. Can George Kambosos summon one more improbable performance, or will Richardson Hitchins continue his rise to the top?
The IBF super lightweight title on the line. Richardson Hitchins, the champion, the challenger, the former lightweight champion, George Kambosos Jr., who steps up to the chalkboard, so to speak, to try and solve this equation. And Sergio, in Puerto Rico against Liam Paro, it looked like an incredibly difficult one to solve.
It was, but Paro was a southpaw, so that right hand of Hitchins kept him on the outside. With Kambosos, he has quicker feet than Paro, and he has a herky-jerky style. If he can land something over the top from that orthodox stance, and he can nullify that jab.
I think for Kambosos, these early rounds are going to be really important. Hitchins has a bit of a history as a slow starter. He lost several of the first rounds against Liam Paro. If Kambosos is going to try to win a decision here, he's got to try to bank some of these early rounds.
And there's that 1-2. That's exactly what is the MO of Richardson Hitchins. It's everything behind that long jab. He has 6 inches in reach. He has 1 in height, at least 1 in height. But everything is disciplined behind that jab, and of course that right hand.
Kambosos, of course, trying to make Hitchins undisciplined here tonight. And guys, Kambosos is kind of one of those fighters whose personality outside of the ring sort of mirrors what he does in the ring. You think of the trash talk, the art of war, the deception. It's kind of what Kambosos does in the ring. He's a front-footed counterpuncher who's looking to pester you into making the wrong decisions.
Yeah, and part of the art of war is deception. So Kambosos needs to be a little bit deceptive right now. Move his upper body and try to lure Hitchins into something big. Right now, Kambosos is looking good. He's not staying in front of him too long. He's keeping his range. He's throwing shots to the body. So far, so good for the former champion in Kambosos.
I'll tell you what, though, Sergio, I think Kambosos has got to be more physical to win this fight. Yeah, he's got a very good over-the-top right hand, just like that. That's one of his signature punches. But Kambosos, I think he's got to take a page out of the Lemos book and try to make this a more physical fight. A fight at this range favors Richardson Hitchins.
No, it favors him, but so far so good is what I'm saying. And look, the thing about Kambosos, he doesn't have Lemos' power. And Lemos caught that big shot in the 8th round later in the fight. A lot of fight left here, but so far, Kambosos, I think he's utilizing his game plan.
He referenced only 10 knockouts on the ledger of George Kambosos, and you think back to his most recent win over Jake Wiley. In every fight, in certain respects, is kind of a little bit of a struggle for George Kambosos. He has to grind and think these wins out, even that one to a certain degree, as Richardson Hitchins comes behind that long right hand and now back on the snappy jab.
A laser jab by Hitchins, man. It's such a beautiful jab. Just popping it twice. He can make it a lot more easier just by snapping that jab and staying in the middle of the ring.
Final moments here of round 1. Good action to kick things.
Never letting go of that jab is how he's going to win this fight.
Round 2 underway. A lot of confidence in both corners in between rounds. There always is in the Kambosos corner. The messaging, very interesting in the Hitchins corner. They're telling him, hey, you're going to get him out of here.
And, I think both of them had their moments. Hitchins obviously landed the better shots in that last round, but Kambosos, I could see what he's trying to do, and he's having success closing the distance a lot faster than I thought. Just like that. See, jabbing upstairs, jabbing downstairs, touching the gut.
Yeah, the fact that Kambosos can jab to the body and stay in range, that is a good sign for Kambosos.
And there it is again, and not only that, but landing that right hook to the side of to the belly.
Problem is, those are the hazards, that sweeping left hook and that piston jab of Hitchins that is available for him at any time.
One thing Hitchins has been focusing on during this camp has been the body work. They watched that fight between Kambosos and Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko just went hard to the body of Kambosos, got the stoppage with body shots. That's something they think is going to work really well for them in this fight.
And Hitchins is laser sharp right now with that right hand. barely making Kambosos miss and making him pay. It's a beautiful fighter, man. Honestly, Hitchins is a nice fighter. Laser sharp, laser vision, man. Look at that jab.
It's a jab that could do damage all on its own. In addition to just controlling the range, there's a nice jab from Kambosos.
And we've been likening this experience to what Kambosos had with Teofimo. So far, Hitchins has not been getting out of his comfort zone. He stayed behind that jab, used the right hand, fighting very disciplined early in this fight.
That's what Kambosos is going to have to do. He's going to have to counter the body right now. When it comes to Hitchins, he's too sharp to hit solid upstairs. So counter downstairs with both hands to the body.
Kambosos is having thoughts about that. What we are seeing is Hitchins able to counter those body shots like that with chopping shots over the top.
Yeah, at this range, it's going to be all Hitchins. He's taking advantage of the height and reach. Kambosos is going to have to move the upper body and just concentrate on the gut, on the body of Hitchins. Touch anything. See right there, he should be closing the distance, double jabbing. And there's that right hook to the body. Both sides of the body is what Kambosos needs to touch on.
30 seconds here of round two as Kambosos continues to jab to the body. Already a cut opening.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
Kambosos. The right eye of
That's what Kambosos needs to do, guys, right there. That right hook to the body.
Yeah, but Corey, to your point there, under that right eye of Kambosos, a little bit of a mouse or a cut starting to form.
A little bit of both at this moment. Final 10 seconds here of round 10. Or excuse me, round two. Not that far in the fight.
Fast forward.
Good left hook there from Hitchins. And that'll do it for the round.
Too long like that.
So it's worth noting that Anton Kadushin, longtime Russian coach, trained George Kambosos for this fight. They trained up in Canada for this fight. Anton Kadushin was not granted a visa to come to the United States, so he is not in the corner of George Kambosos. His father, of course, is there, been with him his entire career, but the man that came up with the game plan for this fight will not be working it with Kambosos.
Still targeting the body of Hitchins. That was the edict in the corner to continue to go downstairs. Perhaps that's in service of trying to set up that big overhand right. And of course, we saw Kambosos drop Teofimo Lopez with a couple of years back.
Sergio, that mouse under the eye of Kambosos is going to start closing. If Hitchins keeps aiming that jab under that right eye, that's going to be a problem.
Just accurate, sharp punching by Hitchins. You can see that he's comfortable just right now in the pocket. He's already comfortable in the range and the distance.
See the jab numbers through 2 rounds here. Hitchins outlanding Kambosos 26-9. See Kambosos, at least statistically, trying to jab with Hitchins when he can, but the accuracy and the heft of those jabs of Hitchins has been very apparent. You can see it on the face of Kambosos already.
And Hitchins is one of the best jabbers in any weight class. Long, accurate, sharp. Trying to win a jab fight with Hitchins is not going to work because stuff like this is going to happen.
Sharp right hand and another as Kambosos tries to leap in with the left hook. That caught the shoulder of Hitchins on his way in.
You see Kambosos already getting frustrated with those sharp, accurate punches of Hitchins. And it's nothing out of the ordinary by Hitchins. It's a 1 and a 2. You know, he's not throwing combinations. He's just controlling them with that range, that height, that reach, and popping him with that jab, stabbing him with that right hand. There you go. Keeping it nice and simple. 2s and fews from Richardson Hitchins.
The problems with the jab are not new for George Kambosos. Devin Haney took 2 wins off of Kambosos, largely behind the work of that jab, the straight right hand. They're different fighters, but Haney and Hitchins do fight a similar style.
And that's the counters to the body that I was talking about earlier, guys. That's Kambosos. That's what he needs to do. It's going to be too hard to down upstairs. But any time that Hitchins sets him range, just with both hands, catch him downstairs.
And back comes Hitchins with 3 straight jabs. See Kambosos trying to get to his body once again. Final 20 seconds here of round 3. Hitchins just with that force field of straight shots, continuing to aim at the face of George Kambosos. And that'll do it for round 3.
On them, Hitchins is not giving them that.
Round 4 now underway. As surgical as Richardson Hitchins can be, what he can't remove is the resolve of George Kambosos, but that's also what's keeping him right in front of Hitchins and giving him that target.
Surgical with that jab and then that big right hand, man. I mean, it's beautiful to watch, man, up close.
You know, when we were walking into the arena, Sergio, you likened Hitchins, in a certain sense, to Vernon Forrest.
Yeah, because they're tall, wide shoulders. Everything's off that long jab, the long width of his legs and thighs, and then that straight right hand. Just beautiful, beautiful Viper-like. That wide stance of Hitchins.
Kambosos has to find a way to get on that front foot and push Hitchins back. When he's at this type of range, he's just going to be easy money for Richardson Hitchins.
Oh, shopping right hand there from Hitchins. Kambosos trying to come back with that up jab and a right hand to the body. Hitchins rolling with that shot to the body, catching a bit of it on the elbow and back with a right hand.
No, Hitchins has no respect for Kambosos now. Now he's not even jumping back or trying to counter. He's barely making a miss with that shoulder roll, coming back with that right hand, landing accurately with that right hand.
We talked about the offense of Hitchins, but the defense is really sharp as well. One of Kambosos' best shots is kind of that jab that turns into a left hook. Hitchins has kept that right hand up the entire time, taking that weapon away from Kambosos.
See, there's a counter to the body.
There from, good shot there from Kambosos.
But he's going to have to do it with both hands. Upper body movement and counter with both hands. That's the only thing that's going to keep the long arms of Hitchins at bay. And that will set up shots like that.
Hitchins just missing with that right hand, as does Kambosos with the sweeping left hook. And Hitchins didn't miss with that right hand. And he rarely misses, Sergio, with that jab. There are very few throwaway jabs from Hitchins.
Oh, beautiful shot. Everything off that jab. I mean, this is the sweet science right here. Everything off that jab, right hand.
Double right hand there from Hitchins. Wow. We're inside the final 15 seconds of round 4. A brilliant performance thus far from Hitchins.
Good body shot from Hitchins right there in the exchange.
Yep, I caught that, man. This is an artist at work, man. I love watching Richardson Hitchins when he's this sharp, this confident, this strong. Body shot by Hitchins. You just got to focus on the body and upper body movement like they told him in the corner.
Back to action here, and you heard the instructions in the corner of Kambosos. They want him to really become the aggressor here. Of course, that may put him in even more peril, but to his corner's point, what he was doing before is a recipe for disaster.
Well, it is, but Kambosos does a good job of keeping his chin down. He knows how to hide behind his shoulders. If he can double and triple his jab his way in and then land the body shots, if you can back up Hitchins to the ropes, then maybe you can have some success. See right there, that's what Kambosos needs to do. Just jab his way in, and then you can start throwing the shots downstairs.
Beautiful counter right hand there from Hitchins.
And Kambosos better start dipping his head to his left as well.
Yeah, Hitchins got a line on that dip right. He's anticipating it every time that Kambosos dips down to throw that jab to the body.
And that's for the upper body movement that they're telling him that he needs. You know, if he's going to keep his head in the same line of fire, he's going to keep getting peppered the longer this fight goes.
Short right hand on the inside again there from Hitchins, and that really illustrates the problem here for Kambosos, Sergio. The one thing that is working for Kambosos is countering to the body, or at least getting to the body of Hitchins. But if we're talking about ratios and the price that you pay to land to what you're landing, at this rate, Kambosos has to hurt Hitchins to the body, because when he goes down there, he's getting countered.
Yeah, and look, right there's a perfect example. Hitchins caught that shot to the body and came back with a left hook. That's very difficult to do, but when you're as sharp and as quick as Hitchins, you get away with it.
See the CompuBox punch stats through 4 rounds, 90-29. The numbers for Richardson Hitchins. Has a glaring scoreboard for Hitchins right now, who just missed with that right hand. As Kambosos tries to get back on his jab.
Good body shot by Hitchins in the inside. Kambosos hurt to the body.
Kambosos felt that one. He is hunched over, and Richardson Hitchins is tasting blood.
Lomachenko softened him over to the body. Kambosos doesn't like it downstairs.
The Hitchins corner told him you had hurt him to the body. How prophetic. With 40 seconds remaining in round 5, Kambosos says, come on.
Kambosos is brave, but that body is unforgiving. You just don't recover.
Final 30 seconds of round 5.
Man, the guts on Kambosos still swinging away, but Hitchins really calm. He wants to get another good shot. It's only going to take another body shot for Kambosos to go down again.
Kambosos trying to breathe through the pain of that body shot.
Not going to take much for him to go down again. Those body shots.
Man, coming for your job, Sergio.
Man, looking sharp too, man. Charisma. He has charisma to spare.
Round 6 underway. We'll see if Kambosos can recover from what was a titanic struggle in the last minute 20 or so of that round. As he tries to go downstairs to the body of Richardson Hitchins, it was Kambosos who was hurt badly to the body and may still be from round 5.
Oh, he still is. You don't recover in 60 seconds from a body shot. What that's only going to do is open up the head shots. A fighter much rather get hit with 3 or 4 shots upstairs than one good one to the liver. And right now you can see the Hitchins is having a good time, patient, looking for the right shot to the body again.
Hitchins now just walking Kambosos down. You see the high frame guard. He's not even worrying about standing on the outside. That was a nice right hand from Kambosos before he slipped. But it's Hitchins who's giving him these opportunities right now because he thinks that a knockout could be just around the corner.
Hitchins is just so relaxed, and he has no respect for Kambosos right now. He predicted a stoppage, and you know, if he keeps on touching and peppering him, I could see the stoppage, especially if he keeps going downstairs.
Well, I just saw Kambosos wince just off that jab to the body as well. There's another one from Hitchins as we take a look at Chris Mannix's scorecard. Oh, 50-45. An easy night of scoring for Chris Mannix. Hitchins still in full control here in round 6, just backing Kambosos up now.
Yeah, pretty easy fight to score as I get my mic back up and running. All Richardson Hitchins operating behind the jab. Good round so far, I think, for George Kambosos. Starting to try to dig deep here, probably knowing how far he's behind, but so far, all Richardson Hitchins.
A little bit of blood coming from the mouth of Hitchins now. Voluntarily made this a higher contact fight, looking for uppercuts like that. What a right hand immediately behind it.
Both fighters looking for uppercuts right there. And Kambosos talking to Hitchins now, getting his confidence back. You can see that the pain from the liver is not there anymore, so he's moving forward. Kambosos, man, what guts to spare.
Inside the final 30 seconds here of round 6.
Kambosos just try to loop that shot. There you go, over the top of the jab. Hitchins getting a little bit overconfident, just walking down Kambosos. No respect. This is an opportunity for Kambosos to go over the top.
Maybe a mild confidence boost here for George Kambosos. And that will
by Richardson Hitchins.
Round 7 begins. And considering the condition that Kambosos was in at the end of round 5, graded on that curve, that was a pretty good round for Kambosos in round 6.
I thought he had good flashes in the first round as well. He had flashes in the first and the last round, but it's been all domination by Hitchins with that jab. Just pot shotting, lining him up with that right hand, and of course those body shots.
Hitchins now back to long range.
And that's what Hitchins needs to do, just go back to the stick. popping him with that stick, busting up that eye, blooding up Kambosos.
Big right hand there from Hitchins.
I thought Hitchins got away from that a little bit in the 6th round. Tried to engage a little bit too much with Kambosos. Created those opportunities for Kambosos to have pockets of success. When you're Hitchins like this, keeping it at the mid-range, operating off the jab, you are as close to unbeatable in this fight as you possibly can be.
I like that delayed right hand by Hitchins. He pops that jab and then kind of slows down with that right hand. It's really tricky thing to time if you're Kambosos. If you're a fighter at the end of that right hand, when you change the volume, change the speed.
Hitchins back to that formula that he feels is unbeatable, unsolvable.
You know, Kambosos' corner these last couple of rounds has been pressing him to throw multiple punches. Don't just throw one jab and get out. Throw 2-3 punch combination. Mix it up a little bit more.
Very difficult to do when you're getting hit with that long jab. It's a stabbing jab. You know, you could see it. You could see that it's reddening the face of Kambosos. The right eye is starting to close. That's the power of a jab, the accuracy.
This long-range version of Hitchins has made Kambosos, it seems, a little more tentative now here in round 7.
A lot more tentative, and that body shot does that. It takes the confidence out of you. I would love to see Hitchins start stabbing him to the body, even with that jab. Remind the gut of that pain that he had earlier. There you go. That was a nice body shot by Hitchins.
Nice left hook as well. Second one caught by the gloves of Kambosos. Kambosos looking for that big right hand over the top.
No steam in the punches of Kambosos.
Richardson, Hitchins just battering Kambosos with the basics here tonight. One more right hand as we hear the bell.
But we've been calling his fights for a few years. It is almost always chaos in that corner. I remember the fight a few fights ago where one of his guys was on the phone with Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, that's right.
Giving Hitchins instructions from Shakur Stevenson. There's always a lot of voices going back and forth in the corner of Hitchins. Fortunately for him, whatever chaos is going on in the corner, he is just as disciplined in the ring.
Oh, huge left hook there from Hitchins, who just cranked that up, and it landed flush.
And Hitchins smells blood, man. He's going for the knockout that he said he was going to get. He said he was going to stop Kambosos. He's looking for it, and he's chasing after it.
Yeah, I think he's one good body shot away from getting at least a knockdown.
Well, there were two different strategies, to your point, Chris Mannix, in the corner there. One saying just keep doing what you're doing, and they might just stop this if you just keep pecking away. The other saying you can just end this right now. It seems like he's listening to the second voice, at least at the moment.
Yeah, I would advise him to listen to Lenny Wilson, his longtime trainer, that's giving the advice. Keep punishing him is the right thing to do, because just because he's throwing jabs and straight right hands, that doesn't mean he can't get stoppages that way.
Look at the jabs through 7 rounds. 104 to 32 for Hitchins as he goes downstairs to the body of Kambosos once again.
Just busting him up. Every time he throws that jab, he lands it. And right with that jab, he's looking like Ike Corte right now, Richardson Hitchins, man. It's just a long, strong shotgun jab setting up that right hand.
Hitchins just now pointed to the corner of Kambosos and yelled at him to stop the fight.
Yeah, prior to that, he had his palms to the sky asking Kambosos, do you want to keep doing this? Shot straying low there from Hitchins as we're inside the final minute of round 8.
Now shades of Vasily Lomachenko against Richard Comey a couple of years ago, right here in Madison Square Garden, where Lomachenko was putting
body shot from Hitchins, and that may be a walk-off home run.
The pain from the body lingers. It's not going to go away. This fight's over.
That is it. Richardson Hitchins